Greetings, all you beautiful people out there. I was going to do a little show about being beautiful and the beauty of our world and the beauty of our life and how we can go forth and be beautiful, but not in a vain way, in a beautiful way of being the real person. And the reason I'm saying all this is because I happened to drop my book, All and Everything, What's Sacrilege, and it fell open on this page, which I'm going to just read a little bit of it to you. It was page 949. The chapter's Beelzebub in America. And the sentence that stuck out was, help everything around you, both the animate and the still inanimate, to acquire a beautiful appearance. I was like, wow, that's a bit strange from Mr. Gurdjieff. And it reminded me of William Morris, and another great guy I follow, who I think is just fantastic. William Morris was the founder of the arts and crafts movements. He was part of the pre-Raphaelite movement in the late 1800s. He tried to bring back the chivalrous ways and the old northern myths. William Morris, I'm a big fan of him, but he used to say, only have in your house what is either useful or beautiful. Isn't that wonderful to have that saying? And we should follow that aphorism, maybe. Only have in your house what is useful or beautiful. Anyway, going back to Gurdjieff, I was like, why is he saying all this? And I remember the America chapter is quite a lot going on in it. It's one of the longest chapters of Beelzebub's Tales. And it talks about quite a lot of things I don't know if I'd get away with discussing on this channel. So it was quite interesting that it fell open at that page. And he's talking about the civilization of the 1900s. And I'm just going to read a bit that was before it. The point is, so this is Beelzebub talking, the point is that from the very beginning of this latest contemporary civilization of theirs, it somehow so fell out among the beings of all the innumerable separate groups there, that of the 7 aspects of the fundamental commandment given to free-brained beings from above, namely, strive to acquire inner and outer purity, the single aspect they selected and in a distorted form have made their ideal is that aspect which is conveyed in the following words: help everything around you, both the animate and the still inanimate, to acquire a beautiful appearance. And I've known throughout my life how people have said that appearance is very important. The appearance, how you look, is how people see you, which is, I've learned over the years, I think it's quite a shallow way of looking at people. So it's the old judging a book by a cover, when what's inside that book is the quality, is what you're supposed to be reading and knowing. And people judge people by how they look. I've had that all my life myself. I used to have dreadlocks for many years, and people instantly, I could see that didn't like that kind of look, put me in a certain category. I was never quite the smartest dressed person. I love t-shirt and jeans, which is, still seen as a bit, for those that like to dress smartly, obviously gives them the impression that I'm a lazy person because I'm wearing jeans and being casual. And I also see people when I'm out and about with certain friends or groups that I know, how they judge people by how they look when they first meet someone. And there are many people I know that say you can judge someone by the look of their face. You can tell. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story. In America once, when I lived out there, I went to, now I can't remember what shop it was, but it was in New York, and it was one of the big fancy ones. And I was followed around by a security guard. And in the end, I got quite annoyed with it. And I just turned around to him and said, why are you following me? And he told me that I had a robber's face. Maybe I do. Maybe I was a robber in a past life or something, Maybe I've been involved in little robberies of, what I was going to say, past life. And so I've carried on that feature through into this. I don't know, obviously I don't know what my past life was, but I thought also it was a bit judgmental. And this is one of the problems with all this face reading thing on and reading how people are appearing. Though I do see a lot in this neural linguistic programming. I studied that myself, and I do see how the masses or the sheep do give away how they're feeling or being by certain actions and reactions. I remember one of them was when people are lying, they often touch their nose or their chin and things like that. But it's not true for everything, or not, you know, sometimes you've got an itchy nose or you've got an itchy chin or something. It's a weird thing to follow, but at the same time, I can see how people follow that and live by that kind of way of them rules. And I wonder if it stops them seeing people for what they really are. I might have gone off a big tangent there. Yet at the same time, I wonder what Gurdjieff would say about that now that people do certain things. I wonder if he would say instead, once you get to know a certain individual, you can see that individual's traits and his giveaways, you know, like with card players, when they know someone's got a tell, they've got a tell when they've got either a good hand or a bad hand, something happens in their face or a movement or, you know, a little twitch or something gives away that they've got either a good hand or a bad hand. But people are still very, it's all about how you look rather than getting to know who that person is. And I used to be told when I was growing up, first impressions are so important. And I remember people as I was growing up thinking, well, that person's a bit of a twat, or that person's a bit stuck up. But then when I got to know them, I realized that the reason they were in that kind of being like that was because of things that had happened to them when they'd met other people, and it made them shy or made them more cautious or more careful. I was quite an outgoing person, always happy to meet just anybody. So I was kind of, people saw me as somebody they could try and manipulate, and because I didn't want to annoy anyone, I didn't want to upset anyone. So do you see what I'm saying? Like how people see people, they then try and use them to their advantage, their own advantage, not the poor person's advantage that's being used. But also in today's world, we definitely had the vanity thing. Everyone's all about selfies and such like, you know, and looking the best that they do to try and show off. Oh, look at me, I'm, you know, almost perfect, or I'm trying to be perfect. And we've got all these problems of all these youngsters that are trying to imitate their, not just the pop stars and the movie stars, but even all the trenders on these other social media sites. And I know it causes a lot of problems for people because they're trying to tell everybody, you are ugly, you need to be made more beautiful. And we should see that everybody's beautiful and we all have faults. But let me carry on with Gurdjieff. And he says, and indeed, and especially in the last 2 centuries there, they have striven simply to attain a beautiful exterior, but of course only in regard to those various objects external to them themselves, which chanced in the given period to become, as they expressed it, fashionable. People are trying to be beautiful in the eyes of other people. They're trying to please other people all the time. And this is one of the things with the work. We shouldn't be trying to please other people. Obviously, we should be trying to please the divine and trying to do what we need to do so that we can progress and become a true beautiful person, and beautiful in the inside as well as the outside. And I do see people that are peaceful and settled in themselves and are balanced people. They shine a radiance. It's a different kind of beauty to what the masses look for as in beauty, you know, the perfect, the Brad Pitt lookalikes, the Angelina Jolie lookalikes, or whatever is fashionable at the time. There's a difference when you're doing the work and you're balanced in yourself. You give out a different vibration that's a vibrating feeling energy that they feel, and also you look different. You glow. We shine. And that attracts people. And I have warned people before, sometimes it does attract strange people because they don't understand what it is that you're doing, that shining. So they come and try and bring you down and destroy it because they can be jealous of it. But this is all part of the magnetic center also of, we should hopefully be attracting more like-minded people as well. So they might be few and far between. I don't know. It'd be a lot easier if we were all close by each other and we could all just hang out together, but we're all scattered across the globe. And I find that this, doing the Gurdjieff work, you have to do a lot of effort, a lot of soul searching. It does bring out things that maybe you wouldn't want to deal with, but you know you have to because you want to become a better person. And as all that is dealt with and let go of, the right word to say, you become different. It's quite difficult to explain because it's something you have to experience. When you start experiencing this, you'll know what I mean. You know, it's difficult to give examples. People used to talk about Moses came down from the mountain and he was shining. His face was shining because he had found obviously peace and was balanced, having met the divine and spoken to the divine. They talk about the shining ones that, or other people talk about the shining ones that were like the more, I want to say educated, but the more settled people that understood how to connect with the universe. So they were part of the universe, the old cunning folk of the past. They had a countenance about them that people were aware of and maybe didn't properly understand, but they knew they were different. Maybe I should just read some more Beelzebub. They would have a striking appearance, as I was just, as Gurdjieff had said in this. You know, because he had said during this said period, it had been of no concern to them whether any object external to them themselves had any substance whatsoever. All that was necessary was that it should have what they called a striking appearance. But they're talking about, here, he's talking about the people that just, the sleepy people, the sheep, they're everything in their lives. You know, we go out to the ball looking striking, we go out for dinner looking striking. Well, we should be working on that striking appearance. It's the interior one that will come out and radiate out because we're more of a balanced person. As regards the achievements of the contemporary beings of this continent in respect of actualizing the external beauty of these fruits of theirs, then indeed, my boy, I have nowhere seen, not only on the other continents of the same planet, but even on the other planets of that solar system, fruits so beautiful in appearance as those of the present time on this continent, America. On the other hand, as regards the inner substance of these fruits, one can only use that favorite expression of our dear teacher, which consists of the following words, and that dear teacher is Mullah Nasir ad-Din. The greatest of all beings' blessings for man is the action of castor oil. Do you remember castor oil in the olden days? That used to be the answer to everything. You're feeling poorly, have some castor oil. You've drank too much alcohol, have some castor oil. Blah, and you spew everything up. Yeah, castor oil does make food beautiful. And Gurdjieff continues, to what height have they carried their skill in making their famous preserves out of these fruits? As for this, as is said, neither tongue can tell nor pen describe. You have to see them for yourself to experience in your common presence the degree of the impulse of rapture to which one can be carried on perceiving with the organ of sight the external beauty of these American fruit preserves. And obviously he's talking about the jams that used to be made and things like that then. But really, I just wanted to do this little show about that because it was really strange that the book fell from my hand, landed, opened on that page, and that line shone out at me. So I'm asking you all just to obviously continue reading Gurdjieff and find your path and find the beauty within you and find the beauty in others. Because as Gurdjieff says, everybody is a shit. But there are beauty sides inside them all. We just need to find the beauty.